Alright, I'm going to try to make a recording of chapter 5. I've been trying to do this for a while and keep getting interrupted, but we'll try it again. This is on strings, and it's a complicated chapter. We're skipping chapter 4, by the way, though I would encourage you to take a look at it because it has some fun things in it. So strings are essentially lists of characters. Alright, so they can be anything. Like I'm going to do greeting. We'll just do a variable, and I'm going to say hello. So hello, it's in double quotes. It could be in single quotes, but hello is a string. So if I were to do a type like we did with numbers and do greeting, it says class string. I'm also going to do, I'm just going to call it num, or let's say number equals, and I'm just going to put 17 and do it in a single quotes this time because in Python there really isn't any difference. And then I'm going to do type number, and it will say string because it's in quotes. Number in strings is a quote. Any set of characters in quotes is a string. They are, as I said, lists, which means that I can get particular characters. So I'm going to say greeting, and I'm going to do 0. That means the first character of greeting. Right? So greeting is hello. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and so I'm going to say hello, print greeting hello, and what is it not? What is the syntax? Oh, I know why. Notice that I didn't put a parentheses at the beginning. That's just a typo. This will work. So it prints H. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I want to do the last character, I'm going to do 4, and it should bring back O. There's also things you can do, like if I wanted to print the 2 L's. So I'm going to do print greeting, and we want to start at 0, 1, 2. So I'm going to do 2, and we're going to go to character 3. Printed out L. So do I want to go to character 4? I'm going to try it again. Let's do 4. And that's because I typed the wrong character there again. Typing is not my friend today. And there's the 2 L's. If I wanted to print the last 3 characters, or the first 3, let's do the first. Let's say we wanted to say hell instead of hello. So I'm going to do print greeting, and we'll assume that it starts at 0. So I'm just going to do a colon, and I'm going to do 4. So it should go for the 4 characters, and it prints out the word hell. So you can, every string is a list that you can treat like a list. Every character is a separate box with its own index. Okay, so I'm going to do one other thing I will do is I want to show you the length function. So I'm going to say length greeting, And this will tell me how long greeting is. It is 5 characters long. Okay, so you can always get the length of a thing. Is there anything else that I want to do there? Let's do one other thing. Let's do a for loop. So I'm going to say for every character in greeting. Okay, then I'm going to do a colon, and I'm going to just print the character. CH isn't magical there. It's just a variable. And notice how it printed out. It looped through it and it printed out each character one at a time. Okay, so now I am going to write a simple little program that gets the user, creates a username. So I'm going to create a new file. And I'm going to say username.py, and I'll just put my name and the date. So it's 10/8/2019. Okay, so I'm going to do a def main, right? And we are going to start off with print this program generates usernames. This is on page 134 in the book. So I'm going to get the first and last names. All right, it's good to comment, and notice I left a space. The spaces are not bad. They can break up blocks. So first equals input, enter your first name. Okay, one of the things when you're doing with strings, you don't need any val. In fact, any val would cause an error. Input is meant to work with strings, so that works just fine. We're also going to do last equals input, enter your first name, your last name. Okay, and then we're going to create the username by concatenation. So I'm looking for the pound sign. And it's going to be first letter, or the first name, first 7 letters of the last name. So basically we'll do username equals first, and we're going to get the first character out of that. And the plus sign is the concatenation. It ties it together. And I'm going to do last, and I'm going to do the :7. So it'll return 7 characters for the last name. Okay, and then we're going to print it. Okay, that's our program. We'll call it. Okay, we need to save it. So I'm going to go to Documents, Python files, username, save, yes. All right, so I'm going to run it. Okay, let me bring this up where I can see it. Ish. So I'm going to do Steve Conger. I'm not sure what it does when, so S Conger. We could do it with a longer name. I might try Rogers next time. But one of the things we want to do is make it all lowercase. So I'm going to go back to the other one, and we'll add a little thing to make it. This is a string function called lower. Lower will lower the letters, make it all lowercase. So I'm going to save this. Let's run it again. Okay, so this time I'm going to do, I'll do Steve again. And I'm going to make one longer, Robertson. Notice it cut off at the 7 characters and it made it all lowercase. So lower, there's a lot of other of these. There's lower, there's upper, there's, I don't know if we have what page that's on, but it's lower, there's upper, there's title, case. There's a lot of other functions. I'll find the list of them. We may do a few others in here. Page 148 has all of these. So I'm just going to put kind of a thing here, page 148. Here's a list of string functions. Okay, so I'm going to do another thing with strings. We could do it here. I'll just keep doing this. I will try to paste this into the blog too. Every character is a number, right? So if I do ORD and I do the lowercase a, it returns, oh, I need to quote it. ORD, quoted lowercase a, it returns 97. That's the Unicode number for that character. If I do ORD capital A, it returns 65. That is the number for that. If I do CHR and I do a 97, it will return the character A. And if I do 65, it would return the other A. So this returns the number that corresponds with the character, and this returns the character that corresponds with the number. The chapter goes into having you make a my brain is gone, a code with this, but I'm not going to do that. So look at the 552 with the different methods. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. It has a lot of the methods that are on the next page. One of the things that I do want to do is to show you a little bit about a function. So I'm just looking to see what, when we do a list. Sorry about the gap here. I'm just looking at the book to see what I want to do next. Alright, so we've played with lists. You can have different kinds of lists. One I've been doing is a... So I'm going to do like I'm going to call it weekdays, equals, and I'm going to open up a list and I'm going to say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, need to quote all of them, Saturday, Sunday. Okay, something's not quoted properly. Monday isn't. I could tell that because the last line was green. So if we have weekdays, and I'm going to do like a date, well, we wouldn't know. So let's just say print weekdays, and we'll do three. And what we'll find is that it prints Thursday, right? 0, 1, 2, 3. We might be thinking that it's the week, that the third one should be Wednesday. If you wanted to equal the date, the same number that you put in, you could do like 3 minus 1. And then it would be Wednesday. What does it not like there? Oh, weekdays. My brain. So print weekdays. Three minus 1. And then it will be Wednesday. All right. So there's a lot you can do with lists, and we're going to do some more later. I also want to do some formatting. So I just want to show you some formats. So I'm going to say, I'm going to say that I'm going to do a number, and I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, dot, 3, 9, just a whole bunch of decimal places. So I am going to say print so I am going to do I'm going to do the formatted value, so we're going to format it, equals, and I'm going to do curly brace 0, 0, 0, 0, dot 0, 0, or actually dot 2f. I'm going to close that. I'm going to close this, and I'm going to do dot format num. And what it'll do is it will print the number with, except I need a close parens. Oh, no, that isn't right. The close print goes here. Oh, I still did it wrong. 2f. Oh, I see what I did too. So, is there a way to redo that line? I'm going to do it again. Print. I left out one thing. Okay, so we need the curly braces. Let's do 0, 0, dot 2f. Dot format num. And it did it 1, 2, 3, 4, dot 34. It gave us 2 decimal places. If I wanted it with 3 decimal places, I could do the same thing, but with 3 decimal places. So this is the pattern for format, is you create the pattern in curly braces here. And this says that you want whatever digits, and you want other digits in the decimal place, and then you have to say how many you want in the decimal place. You could also do, if you wanted it to be dollars, let's do it this way. So I'm just going to put a $sign there, and then I'm just going to do the same numbers. Again, I did a dot instead of a colon. So I'm going to pass on this in just a second. This is the last time I'll type it. Zero colon 0 dot 2f. Close the curly braces. Close the quote. Dot format. Parentheses num. Parentheses parentheses. And why did it do that? Oh, I know why. Because I didn't do a dot format. This time it'll work. Okay. So we're going to deal a thing with files. And I'm going to create a thing that does usernames. And then it's going to pull it out. So I'm going to do a file new. All right, and this is going to create a file of usernames. And then it's going to read the file. Okay, that's all I'm going to put for right now. So I am going to do a def main. And I'm going to give it print this program creates a file of usernames in batch mode. All right, so it's going to do it from a file of names. From a file of names. All right. So I am going to real quickly open up Notepad. So Notepad, I'm going to give it just a few names. So I'm going to say, I'm going to do like this. George Carson, Robert Williamson, Mark Lewiston. Okay, that's enough for our purposes since I did one line. So I'm going to save this file, save as. I want to save it in the same directory as my Python files. It will be a text file, and I will call it names.txt. So I'm going to save it. Okay, so I have a list of files. All right, so now it wants to know to get the file names. So I am going to say input file. So they call it in file. Let's do in file. In file name equals input enter the file name. Enter the file name with the names. All right. And then the out file is to enter the names. We want the name of the output file. Okay. So we're going to open the file. So we're going to say in file equals open. So open is a word reserved for files, and we're going to say the in file name, and we're opening it for read. So that needs to be in quotes. So we're opening it to read it. And the out file equals open out file name, and we're using this one for write. Okay, so now we're going to loop through the file, process and write. So I'm going to say for line in file. Okay. We are going to first last equals line split. So what the split does is it breaks the words apart based on the space. If I were to put a comma in here, it would break it based on the comma. But we're doing it first name, last name based on the space between them. So the username that we create is based on first 0, right? So we're taking the first letter of the first name plus last, and we're doing it till 7. So we can do :7. And then we are going to put those to lower. So they'll all be lowercase. Okay, then we're going to write it to the file. So we're going to print. Print can be used to write to file as well. Username. And we're going to do it to the file equals out file. Okay. So I'm going to do in file dot close, and I'm going to out file dot close. You have to close the files or you can't access them. And then I'm going to do a print. So these actually should go out of the loop. And then the last one should be a print. The files have been written to. All right. And then we'll call the main. Okay, we'll see if this works. Could be some errors. So I'm going to do file, save as, and user file. Okay, so I'm going to, I want it to be in documents, Python files. and I'm going to save it. Now hopefully this will work. So I saved that file and it was called, let's just look real quickly. It's called names, names.txt. Is that right? Yeah, names.txt. So let's go back and run this. All right. So first one is we're going to do name.txt. And in the output file, we'll say unames.txt. Doesn't like, it didn't find name text. Was it names? Yes. All right, let's try it again. The name of the file has to be correct. So let's do run module. So it's names.txt. The out file will be unames.txt. Now it's still filled. Out file. Why is out file not defined? In file, out file. Oh, because I spelled it wrong. Again, this is 99% of all errors. So, file, save. We'll run it again. All right. Names.txt. I'm going to say unames.txt. And it says the names have been written to files. So let's see if they have. So I'm going to go to the folder. So here are our names, our original names file. And here's our username file. Oops. Username. Names. User file. There should be a uname. Let's go to Documents, Python files, unames right there, and there it is. It made the usernames for us and wrote them to a file. All right, that's complicated. Let's walk through it real quickly one more time, and then I will call this good for this chapter. So these are just descriptions. We need file names. So this says this file has to exist. The output file doesn't have to exist because when you say write, it'll create it if it doesn't exist. So we are opening the input file and we're for read. And we're opening the out file for write. We're looping through all the lines in the in file. This again is just a variable. It could be whatever. First and last are names, and we're getting them from the line that's coming up. Each line that comes up, we're splitting the words based on the space. The first word will be first, the second word will be the last name. Then we're getting the first letter of the first name and the first 7 letters of the last, and we're putting it all in lower case. We're going to print these to the file, and then when you print, it can print it to the screen or it can print it to a file. Then we're closing both of the input file and the output file and telling the user that it's been done. And if we looked and those things were correct. So, I'm not sure this is very good, but I am going to stop the recording for chapter 5.